Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Roy, your host of Power Hour from WealthBuildersHQ.com. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please type the number 1 in the questions box, in the chat box, rather, to let me know that you can. I would greatly appreciate it. All right. Good morning, Helen. Hey, Brenda, how are you? All right. Thank you, Jen. Oh, I didn't get them, Brenda. Sorry, I'm in transit on Monday, so I wouldn't have seen it. Good afternoon, Kevin. Daniel, how are you? Afternoon. All right. Fantastic. Well, I hope it has been a great day for everybody so far. It's an interesting day in the market. As we go through here, keep in mind that each and every one of the candidates we look at are for educational purposes only. Nothing is meant to be advice and or recommendations. Right, we've got a couple of things coming up. Let's see here. I got the wrong screen going. That's why. There we go. A couple of things coming up. Patterns in a flash. That's August 9th. That would be today. Tony has a training tonight for his students that he goes over a particular pattern, answers questions. Great training. I love what he does there. August 12th is Inner Circle. Wealth with Spreads on the 13th, where Brandon is going over for his Wealth with Spread students doing a Q&A. I love when Brandon does that because it really helps you to solidify all the things that you get in the video, get to ask all the questions. The next Trading You is on the 18th. And then Charting Your Way to Success, live event in New York, one full day in New York. It's on September 17th. We're working on plans for this every single day. We've got a couple of special things planned while we're there. Mastermind Group is on a regular schedule for Tuesday. Power Hour, here we are, but there is no Power Hour next week, guys. No Power Hour. Why? I will be away. It's called vacation. We need one. All right. First one in almost 2 years now. So we're going to be away for a little bit. So I will not be in on Monday for that. But Coach's Playbook will be on schedule for Friday. But coming up this week on the 11th and the 12th, 8 p.m. and then 12 p.m., I'm doing a live training called Become Chart Smart. And Become Chart Smart is to help you understand what you might be missing on your chart to help propel you to that next level. If any of you saw the video that we did, Sean and I mean, guys, this was really knockdown, drag out stuff over the last couple of days over giving this training away for free. Now that we've announced that everybody is okay with it, but this was like, nope, turn it into 2 hours, charge a fee for it. You're crazy. Stop doing this stuff. Guys, I really want to try to help move you guys to the next level. There's going to be a lot of great content in there. So make sure you get registered. We only have 1,000 seats in each one of the 2 classes. We've got one at night, one during the day. They'll be the same training. You're welcome to come to both, but keep in mind, there may be a chance that some of you do not get in, depending on how late you, not register, but how late you actually log in is going to be the key. So Power Option Plays, Covered Call Explorer, E-mini are all on the regular schedule this week. Keep in mind, next week for Power Option Plays, there will be one missing, so we will, because I'm on vacation, but just one. So everybody will get credited for that. That's not a problem. Right, here's our follow us page. Please and thank you. We just hit 900 subscribers on YouTube. That's the one we're focusing on the most. Facebook, we've got 17,000. I've got 27,000 or so on LinkedIn, right? But YouTube is the one that we're really working on. The schedule Sean and I put together last week, which we're working up to. But right now, I think we're at a point today that almost every day of the week, we are publishing a new video. Right, we've got a video came out over the weekend of our very first podcast because I do them live on camera as well. So that came out over the weekend. So guys, make sure you're checking out some of the various things we do. I mean, I put something up this morning on Bitcoin. I put out 4 or 5 candidates that all had nice moves in pre-market for potential trade setups. You definitely want to go ahead and check some of those out. All right. And then here's the Charting Your Way to Success, $99, where more than 2/3 of the seats are gone. So at this point, folks, by all means, get yourself registered for it. It's a $99 one full day training with me in New York. So come and check it out. And here's Become Chart Smart. That is on the members area. You can go right there and click on that link. It's actually the very first thing that shows up in the members area, Become Chart Smart. So go ahead and click on that and get registered. We are seeing a good number of people in that already, which is great to see. All right, and there we go. So I did not get a chance to load the trades from Amelia today. Sorry about that. Sean, did you ever see if you had them? All right. So what trades did you guys do? Drop them in. Let me know what you did. Thank you, Amy. Amy dropped in the links for the classes. All right. Send an email to support, Brenda. Roman said, sitting on Netflix, a Netflix day trade. Okay. Sarah said, no orders have triggered yet for me today. Okay. A little bit of a slower day, right, in the market. There are plenty of things that have moved nicely today, right? One of the things I don't have on here, let's see, let's just put a space in there. Go here. If you guys watch CNBC, it's interesting. At the bottom of CNBC, bottom right of the screen, they put the ticker, right, of what's going on with the S&P. Then they switch to the Dow. They'll run gold and crude and things like that in there. Today, they actually had Hood show up in the bottom there. We're going to talk about it in just a moment, right? But Hood itself is up a little bit today. Nothing crazy. But we're going to talk about some of the ramifications of what's going on with Hood right now. But if we look at from a change standpoint today, NASDAQ's holding its own. It's the other exchanges that are not. So Tesla was one that was in the pre-market. Guys, this came out in a pre-market update. This would have gone out, I believe, on Instagram and Facebook. And of course, you need to make sure that you get notifications for us, right? And Tesla was up about $7 or $8 in the pre-market. Now it's up $14, right? So it rocked. And you can see it. If we maximize the 5-minute chart here on Tesla, right? This is where the opening price was on Tesla. Dropped down, took off. So that opening price was about 710. It ran all the way up to about 719. So that a $9 move intraday after I had already gone ahead and talked about it in the pre-market. I talked about, and I remember the phraseology here too, that I'm going to be looking at a bull put spread. I'm going to be looking at a possible buying a call. And I said I would be looking maybe at a short put. And I said, well, maybe a little bit too expensive. I probably will pass on the short put on Tesla. When I say expensive, just a more expensive price stock to really try to gravitate everybody into the spreads and the long calls instead of the short leg on this, that if it does drop a bit, someone is not prepared for it. So great move. And where did it come from? In a free update that we do every day, right? So make sure you subscribe to the various social platforms that we've got out there. Brenda, you're rocking it, girl. 50 grand calls and puts on the QSIN. Now, Brenda does very large number of contracts there. And of course, it's all non-funded. All right. Every bit of it's non-funded. Felicia said RBLX finally getting back to even. All right. Well, there you go. There you go. That's good to know. Paul, I don't know what you're referring to. You posted a bunch of potential option trades last week. Would you mind quickly reviewing these? Which day? Where did I do it? Realize that I do somewhere between 30 and 50 videos a week, Paul. No idea. If you help me out, what symbols you want to look at, I can look at them. But Thursday or Friday, I believe. Still, on Friday, I think I did 8 videos and 5 or 6 on Thursday. So when we get to that point of looking at symbols, Paul, we can take a look at them. You just got to let me know what you want me to review them for. Just look at the stock and see how they're doing, because I certainly don't remember what I said Thursday or Friday of last week. Heck, I'm lucky I can remember what I ate for breakfast. Oh, wait, I didn't have breakfast today. It's just one of those days, right? All right. So the topic for today is Robinhood the next meme stock, right? So let's go over to Hood, ticker symbol HOOD. Right? Here's our ticker on Robinhood. Right? If we go back and look, let's see if it's going to give all of it to me. Pretty much, yeah. Okay. So if we go back and look, let me start up. I need a drawing tool. So I thought I had Camtasia started. I do not. Let me start that up. Double click. Okay. Was not opening. Recording. I am. All right. I don't know why they're still not there. All right. So never mind. Still having problems with this version of Camtasia. It's got us down as the 2021, which I don't use. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry to ask, but what makes it a meme stock? It's one of these Reddit stocks, Larry. That's all it is to me. It's one of these stocks that are on Reddit that they're talking about that it's a joke, right? It's a joke. They're not real trading companies. Let me back up. I want to be very careful there. They are trading. There's a lot of money to be made, right? But they're not moving on their merits. They're moving on a group of individuals that are pushing it. And it actually seems to be the new wave. It seems to be the way a lot of things are actually headed right now. So when we look at Hood, here's the thing. I bought Hood at 35, 34, something like that, sold it at 65 and 60, did great on it, right? Was it because I was a genius? No, I just bought it the day before it went up. That's all it was. I sold it over a 2-day period of time. Is it because I'm a great trader with that stock? No, I saw an opportunity. To me, because they listed options, I decided I was going to get in because the options got listed that day. That was it. And had I actually traded it, it was the day before the options came out. Had I actually traded the options on, I would have, talk about crushed it is an understatement. I mean, there was massive money made on those $70 calls on Hood, but some of the other strike prices had massive bid-ask spreads, and you just way overvalued, just weren't able to trade them effectively. So when we look at Robinhood, right? Is Robinhood that stock that's going to turn into that meme stock? Here's the problem with Robinhood right now. 92 or 97, I forget, million people have filed, or shares, for 92 million shares have filed to be sold once their holding period is over. If you have insider shares, you've got to tell the SEC when you want to buy or sell stocks, right? Shares. So they've already applied. They filled out their documentation of we plan to sell our shares, or at least some portion of them. So they're not all coming due on the same day, but a lot of them will come due at a very similar time. Part of the reason that if you look at Hood, Robinhood didn't move up big when the announcement came out was there wasn't a great interest in it. I like them as a company. I think the potential lawsuits are really hurting them right now as far as a company goes. So they're also made it that there weren't a lot of shares to be shorted because so many shares that were locked up. It's a small float right now. But once those 92 million shares become available, there's a lot of shares to borrow to short. And the expectation from Nigerian and some of these major players like him are it's going to be shorted. It's going to become a big short stock, right? Like an AMC, like a GameStop. That doesn't mean Reddit doesn't drive it back up. And even on Nigerian, they put his feet to the fire and said, you just called it a short a week ago. Kramer, you called it a short and now you're telling people to buy. Yeah, because it's going up. We're going to buy it while we buy it. Once these shares are available and the shorting starts taking place, we're going to look to the short side of it and look for that down. Now, I will not be shorting the stock itself. If I'm going to trade it, I will trade it off the options, right? But just like I trade GameStop, right? I don't trade GameStop by buying call options as it's going up. Right? And here is the why. Okay. Here's the why. We had this great run up, and let's take that down. All right. We had this great run up and fail. Was there a lot of money made there over a 5 or 7 day period? Absolutely. Was there as much, if not more, lost on the pullback? Without a doubt. I know multiple people jumping in at $200, $300, $400 a share and getting crushed, never getting back to where they were. Never. And those that were trading options, the options wound up, you're buying a call option when the stock's at $400 and you're buying a 65 delta, and now the stock's at, $160. Well, it's your option is worthless at this point, right? But as we had these moves up, there were opportunities for me to sell puts. Instead of having to buy the shares, I'm going to sell puts. Could I have bought calls? Yes, but the volatility is what I'm concerned with. I am selling puts well out of the money, somewhere between that 4 and 10% chance of being wrong on the trade. So a 4 to 10 delta on my shorts. So do I see a hood becoming the next meme stock? And the answer is very possibly. Very possibly. Right? I am not a fan of doing anything usually this early in the game. Normally I am waiting, but with this having so much attention, being so big of a player right now, it just made sense to jump in. But look, you had this gap up and then you gave it all back and then some the next day. Now we're back into the mix of it a little bit if you got it on the lower end of that day, but still we're in a place that it's very precarious right now. So is it this the next meme stock? Yes, I do believe it does become that, right? I think it becomes heavily shorted once those shares are out. Could I be wrong? I could be dead wrong. Am I hoping I'm wrong? Yes. I didn't buy this thinking I'd be out of it the next day or the day after that. I bought this in the anticipation, in my IRA, in the anticipation that I'm going to be in it for a while. And that wasn't the case, right? Absolutely unequivocally was not the case for this position. But how do you buy something and watch it double, almost double overnight and not have some reaction to that position, right? I talked about it last week, the first half of the trade. If you get out of half your position at a break even, the rest of the trade is free. And I've been teaching this now. Goodness, I learned this back in 1997 when I first started in the market, that strategy of locking it in, all right? Okay, so let's see. All right. Fantastic. So let's go take a look and see what's going on some of our stocks today. All right, Tesla was one that had a really nice move up today, right? So what could we do on Tesla, right? So right now, the first thing I would do is I'm going to go over to my Omega charts. And I am going to look for where my supports and or resistances are. So let's go here. All right. So it looks like that 700 level right here, the dot dash line, has a confluence with the 8 moving average, right? That makes it a very strong level. Those traders that are on this side of the camp that are looking at 100-point levels, right? They're very focused on that as a support. Those that are over here that are looking at moving averages, I have an 8. If you're using a 10, you'll be close enough that there will be very little difference in there. The difference to me is mine is based on harmonics, based on human emotion. 10 is based on it's half a 20. That's all it is, right? 8 is based on human emotion. 21, 55 are based on human emotion. So if we can look at that 700 level and say, great, even as we go back in history, we used it as a great resistance level, even here, just a little over a week ago. And then we used it as support on Friday. I like the 700 level. So what can I find below 700 as a potential as a setup? So if we pull the option chain, we've got Tesla up here already. We pull the option chain on Tesla, and I want to look at what's going on for this week. And I am looking at a bull put spread. Now, if I wanted to just buy a call option on Tesla, I can. I could buy it as a day trade. That would be today. I could buy it today at 1660 by 80. Really nice bid-ask spread. Not complaining about that one bit on Tesla right now. Their numbers are fantastic, right? It's 64 delta. So But instead, now that's for today, right? If I want to swing trade this, I'm buying at least 30 days. So I'm going to go out to 32 days. I don't have enough open interest. I'm going to go out for 39 days. Should have it there. 66 delta. I got to spend $59 on the trade. It could become a little costly as a buyer on the position, right? And I'm doing this off of momentum news. This is driven on what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's move. It's going on with this $3.5 trillion insanity package that the government just approved that we'll be paying for the rest of our lives, it seems. And to say it's going to be paid for by Bitcoin, we'll see. We'll see. But all of this in reaction to what's going on with that stimulus package. Are there things in there that we need? Without a doubt. Are there things in there that are ridiculous? Without a doubt. So if we look at this position, 59 bucks, a little costly. Watch. If we get rid of single and we go to vertical, right? Now let's go back here. And now let's go find something under that $700 number. Now you can bring it down to that 697, 695 position. And if I click on sell, right, it opens it up. How do we have this set up? We've got it set up for 5 contracts. Let's just change it to 1. Oops, wrong way. All right, let's change it to 1 just to see the numbers. If I go with the natural, it is 45 cents on the natural, right? The midpoint is 55 cents right now. That's negotiating bid and spread on the 2 options. What this in essence says is as long as the stock stays above, what did we say, 97.5? 697.5. As long as it stays above 697.5, we keep the 55 cents in this trade, right? I like the setup a lot as a potential trade, right? But that's the type of stuff. Now, if you would have done this morning, watch. If we get rid of this, go back to single. Let's X out of this trade. Drop that down. Come on, fight me. All right, not sure why it won't go. But let's do this. If we go this morning and let's go back to Omega charts. And we closed, we actually opened up at 710. Okay. So if we look, all right, 15,000 volume today on this $700 call option. So let's see what happens. Let's see if it's linked. Just got to see if I've got it linked. Right now, this shows global listener symbol link. Not sure what that is. Let's see. No, so we've got this on Green Global. All right, so let's go back to the option chain. Let's go to Green Global. Okay. And let's go ahead and click on that 70 again, that's 700. Let's see if that does it. It does, okay. That option opened up about $19 this morning, ran up to 24.5. Right? Actually 19.5, I think it was. Yeah, about 19.5, ran up to 24.5. So you had a $5 move on this position. Had you just bought for a day trade, which is really how that announcement would be, if you're trading it off that day trade, you're looking at that $19, you sold it for, well, it hit 24, right? So would you have gotten the lowest low and the highest high? No. Say you got it at 21 and got out at 23 and made $2 on the position. That's 5% in 35, 40 minutes, right? There's a lot of opportunity there on candidates like a Tesla. And this is all things that came out in pre-market today, right? Good setups for you. Karen said, is Omega Charts linked to TradeStation? It's not, Karen. I wish I could link it somehow. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I was actually trying to get it to show up where I had it linked that it should give me the option symbol here. This is the option now. This is not, if you see right here, it's the option, right? 21, August 13, 700, right? 5 minute, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever it was, Gillies, whether news, no news that came out. The news was it was up nicely in pre-market today. That was the news for me, right? And I think I listed 5 or 6 stocks out there today, right? All right, give me the ones you want to look at. Drop in your symbols. What ones do you want me to take a look at today? Let's go ahead and do just that. I already defined it, Brenda, just a few minutes right as you asked it. I had already defined it. So I thought you got it. It's a joke. That's what it is. These stocks are not meant to go where they are. They're being pushed up by the traders on Reddit. That's all it is. That's all it is. All right. So QQQ, Brenda's asking for. All right, so we got real-time data on here, pull that out. So I like where we're at with the moving average, that pullback, but what's going on? We've got the all-time high here on Thursday. We've got a lot of resistance right back in the previous all-time highs. We just keep bumping our head on ugly there. I really need to see us get some legs here and stretch up and give us that new all-time high. But any opportunity off of that 8 moving average, Brenda, is an opportunity in for me. It's bullish, without a doubt. Richard is asking for GLD. All right, so wowzer, why is GLD getting hit like this, guys? You know why? Hope you do. You should. If market's going up, there's a natural tendency for gold to do the opposite. So when there's bad news out, the market comes crashing down, people pull their money out of the market, they put it into gold, which is the flight to safety, right? And that's really what it's doing, flight to safety, right? What's happening now? Market's doing good. Gold is crashing down. It doesn't always work that. It's not a guarantee when the market's up, the gold is down, but we'll see a lot of correlation between that in there. So on GLD, so I'm looking at GLD as a potential Fibonacci 4-step trade. All right, it's a good opportunity to explain this trade setup in here. So let's edit this. I'm going to add in an 882 and I'm making it green so I know it's a Fibonacci 4-step. What I am looking for is we need to stay above that 160.06 level. When I say stay above, on a closing basis only. I don't care if it goes down below with the wick. Actually, I prefer it to drop down below that level with the wick. That's better for me. But if it doesn't, as long as it doesn't close below that green line, that 882 line, we're good. All right, so now what am I looking for? Now I want to see this happen. I want to see from wherever it goes. Let's say it does move down. It doesn't have to go all the way down there, but let's say it does go down, right? I want to see this come up. It could be multiple days that it comes up. It doesn't all have to be one day. But I needed to get above the 764, which is this red line. From there, I need a retest and a bounce off of that 764. If that happens, my target is all the way up here at my 618. And when I say my target, that's my resistance line. You always want to be somewhere down below resistance. So our resistance here is 165.66. So somewhere down below there, 165, 164 and a half, somewhere in that range, you're going to pull the trigger and get out of that trade. Is it a big opportunity? Nope. But listen, guys, if you like GLD and you start to get the bounce, then there's an opportunity there. We've got a lot of gaps to fill, a tremendous amount of gaps have to be filled in here. If you look back from yesterday, Friday, right? Thursday down to Friday, all of these gaps, they need to be filled. Market doesn't like open windows. And if I open window, what's an open window? Here's what I want you to do. The next coach's playbook that we do on Friday with Ryan in there, ask Ryan Litchfield about open windows in Japanese candlesticks. He will go into in depth on how they don't like them to be kept open. They don't like open windows. This is an open window, right? We want that window filled. See the open window, right? We came back up and filled the open window. We talked to Ryan about it. He's a master of it. Let's see. So Richard, I hope that helped. Erica said, Rob, what do you think about GBTC long term? Let's see who it is. GBTC. Oh, this is a Bitcoin, right? No, that wasn't it. GBTC. Is it a symbol? So is Erica, is it an, I thought that was ETF on Bitcoin, but I'm not finding it here on, yeah, that's what I thought. Grayscale, I'm not finding it here on Omega charts. Let's go do this. GBTC. All right, got it on Trade Station. So let's go look at a daily chart. All right, so we're talking about July, August of 17 was the opening for it. We've had a lot of high prices. So when we look here, right? So September of 20, so almost a year ago, we had this huge run to the upside. Right, now let's start breaking this down a little bit. All right, we had this huge run to the upside, took place. We hit the all-time highs. Let's see, maybe a head and shoulders type pattern, with this being the head, right shoulder, left shoulder. It's a double shoulder, double right shoulder. And then this breakdown in here. So I don't know enough, Erica, about the company itself. I have heard it. I've seen some commercials on CNBC for it. But I don't know enough about it myself. Do they actually hold Bitcoin? Or are they holding some form of derivative, a future or an option or something like that on it? What are they actually holding on it? If they're holding the actual Bitcoin itself, then I like it a lot. Right? If they're holding something else, you've really got to dig in and see what it is that is causing that, what that it actually does. All right, so it's an over-the-counter stock, which may be why we're not seeing it on Omega charts. Yeah, it's holding the Bitcoin itself, I believe. Okay, then if that's the case, I can't overlay on this. There might be an overlay feature. If anybody knows how to overlay a symbol on TradeStation, tell me how to do that. So in Omega charts, I can do a comparison. I hit the letter C, and it will allow me to overlay a symbol. But what should happen here, Erica, is if this is actually the coin, and that's one of the ways you can look at it, if it's actually the coin itself, if you put Bitcoin's symbol on top of this, you should see pure correlation across the board, right? There should be no difference in how you see the movement. If you overlay the SPY on SPX, you'll see exactly a correlation. When the SPX goes up, the SPY goes up, because they are interlocked, they're related, they're exactly the same position. But long term, I think Bitcoin has a lot of opportunity. I do think there will be others that will take over, since Bitcoin is a limited entity, meaning it's going to run out. There's only so many coins out there. After it gets to whatever it is, how many million, 100 million coins, you can't mine it any longer, it's done. That's where the Ethereum and some of those other ones are going to step in. Certainly not Dogecoin. But you're welcome. All right, Karen, I'll ask Brandon. That's good. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've always done it on Omega chart, so I've never had to do it on TradeStation. Let's see. And then maybe you've got to create a spread chart. It might be what it is. Let's see. Rose is asking for KLIC. And hey, those of you that are watching on YouTube, make sure you drop them in. I'm on the wrong program. Let's see. KLIC. Wow. Really nice move last couple of days. Today included. Oh, they had the earnings come out. That's what it was. Nice. Okay. So KLIC, I would be looking at this. So here's how I do it. Who's asking on this one, just so I know. All right, Rose, here's what I do. I draw my fibs. We'll call that a sideways move in there. There's the nice push up. All right. So if I can find a spread or a short put below that 63.5 level, that's what actually, I'd prefer 59 level. But I don't know if we're going to get that today anymore. But let's see. Let's go here. KLIC. All right. So first thing is I don't have weekly options. So that's a little bit cumbersome for me. Right. Then we've got $5 increments, makes spreads very complicated. Yeah. Makes the spread very complicated. I don't want to take on a $5 risk. So I'll actually go back to the option chain to see, do we even have anything in there that we'd want to trade, period. So let's go look at call options on, well, actually I would look at a short put then. I just can't get enough premium. I prefer down below the 59 and 64 are my numbers. So 59 and 64. So on a put, I'd be at 65. I could pick up 95 cents. On the 60s, I've got no money for them. Yeah, so you'd wind up on buying call options 410 by 40, 73 delta. That would be day trade because there's only 11 days in that option. I'd have to go out to September. If I want to go long, I could do this 910 by 70 on the 60 call. Vols are not crazy. Not a lot of volume today, but good open interest. Really good open interest. So a little more than I normally do, but from a standpoint of looking at this, it would have been nice if I caught it Friday, right? Actually, it would have been nice if I caught it on Thursday when the announcement came out, when the move started. Got Thursday, Friday, Monday. But for right now, pull back to the 63, 69 and a bounce is what I'm looking for. If we break the 69.21, same thing. Pull back and bounce is what I'd be looking for. All right. I hope that helps, Rose. Gary's asking for Google and Amazon. Well, let's try that again. All right, Googly. No, we had a trade on Google, but we closed it. We do have an open trade on SPY right now, a bullish trade. Woo! We got another one on Facebook. Very nice. All right. So let's see. I like the confluence of the 8 moving average on Google with our 100-point line, which is the 2,700 level. And then you've got 2696 right below there. Probably the best way to get us zoomed in there. But we keep bumping our heads in here. We're running into, it's a bit short to draw this yet, but we'll put one in there just as an example. Right, well, actually, we can go the day before, no less. Yeah, still a little short. Day before doesn't help us much, a little bit, but not really. The last 3 days, today and the two previous days are really what we're looking for. So I'd be looking for a breakout at the top of that rectangle on Googly, which is 2726, or get me back to that 2700-ish level for a bounce. But 2700 to 26, you got a great day trade opportunity in there. All right. That was on Google. The other one Gary asked for was Amazon. Let's bring it in a little bit. All right. So after their earnings, they took a big drop. They really haven't been able to recover. I'm waiting for the moving average to get closer to that 33.41 level, right down in here. If it can, and we can break that, what I want to see happen here, it's pretty straightforward. I drew it out before on the Fib 4 step. Close down below, come back and retest, fail, and there's the entry right there. Now, as long as the moving average comes down, we come back up and retest. You're going to make the ultimate decision on what that retest looks like. Does it mean, all right, I'm pushing right up today and failing today? That's your call. Does it mean close near it and fail off of it? That's your call. For me, almost always, unless it's very specific news driven, almost always, I'm going to wait for it to close near that level and fail. And that helps me avoid the false breakouts or the false signals that happen in there, right? And that's just me. You trade it the way that works best for you, what fits your risk profile. This is what works best for me. Ask Roman, he will tell you, follow Rob's rules and I'm okay. Every time I don't is when I get in trouble, right? And you hear that from people that are in inner circle, mastermind group, power option plays over and over and over again, right? So on Amazon, now, does that mean there's not a day trade opportunity? No. There's plenty of day trading opportunities. Plenty of day trading opportunities. It's bouncing off support. Why would there not be? Oh, it would be now resistance with where it's sitting. So I hope that helps, Gary. BTBT. Who is BTBT? BTBT. Bitty bitty. Golden Bull Limited. Is this a weighted bullish fund type thing? Do you know, Brenda? Okay. So let's first start off. Goodness gracious, look at the moves. All right, let's try that one more time without double clicking. All right, so we're failing at the 50 right now. Okay. So if we can get the pull back to the 1557 close bounce off of there, there's a potential bullish entry. I don't know if this is a weighted position. Be very careful. For those of you that are not familiar with them, there are things out there that are 2 and 3 and 4 times the movement of the actual market they are compared to themselves. So they're ultra bullish, ultra bearish. Be very careful of those if you're not familiar with trading them. If you're right, man, you make a lot more money quicker. If you're wrong, yeah, you can lose a lot more money quicker. So be very cautious when it comes to this position if it is that type of a value to it. Brenda, let's see if she puts something in here. So Trader Will said Bit Digital Inc. Brenda said it's Bitcoin Digital. Okay, Bit Digital Inc., formerly Golden Bull Limited, incorporated on February. It's a holding company that engaged in Bitcoin mining business through its wholly owned subsidiaries in the United States and Hong Kong. Okay, so we know what they do. I would just be cautious with it. All right, but that's what I'm looking for. We got the fail out the 50 today. There was a potential BTBT. Do we even have options on it? Let's see. We do. Plenty of open interest. Really good bid-ask spreads. Monthly positions only, but still tradable. 250 increments, which I like a lot better. So if you thought this was a topping pattern right now, if you thought this was a top and we can get above the 19, which would mean the 20. I don't know if we're going to have any value in it, but let's see. Actually be bear call spread, not more put. So if you can get a, wow. Okay. So as I looked at this, when Brenda first gave this to me, this was me. I'm back in position number 1 in the chair. Right now, I just realized that if I go with the $20 call, now again, you need to look at the numbers here and see if it works. But if I go with the $20 call, if I believe this is failing and pulling back at this point, I could go ahead and sell the $20 put, the $20 call on this option, on this position, which is 210 by 225. Now notice the midpoint shows 217. Do not be fooled. It is not. You're not going to get 217. You're not. Why? Because look at the last number of the bids and asks. It's only trading in zeros and fives, which means that's just software coming out and saying, ooh, this would be the price. 222. No, it's not. Okay. It's just that they're rounding the number. So you've got 220. Now you're good. 220 by 25. That works. All right. But if you've got a 5-cent bid ask spread there, just pay the full nickel and call it a day, because there's no negotiating. They can't. It's not trading in pennies. All right. So if I look at the 220 and watch, let's do this. If I'm going to sell that leg right there, right, then let's come back here. And again, you have to be convinced that this is going down from here. If that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and buy the 22.5, which is up here. Okay. So let's bring it back here. I come by the 22.5. Hold down the control key. It loads both trades in there. We're going to change both of these to one contract. All right. I could pick up 50 cents credit on the mid price right now. If this stock, this position, now remember though, there are 11 days here. If this position stays below $20 a share in the next 11 days, it will expire worthless. I will keep 50 cents, not getting 52. I'll keep the 50 cents. My maximum risk in this trade is $2.50. The strike I bought and the strike I sold, the difference, minus what I took in. So I've got $2.50 of max risk. I took in 50 cents. So the risk is actually a maximum risk of $2. And my rate of return is 20% on this trade for the next 11 days. Right? Again, you decide whether it fits your risk profile or not. From a standpoint of a pattern, this is it. All right, Deborah said Tesla's coming back up on the 5-minute for re-entry. All right, we'll take a look at it in a moment. Thank you. All right, so I hope that helps on the BTBT, Brenda. Roman's asking for Netflix. Roman had said he was waiting on a Netflix trade that he was in. We had Netflix down as a day trade. No earnings to be concerned with. They already came out. They're one of our earlier earnings companies. Yeah, so It's tough. I mean, look at the moving averages. We're kind of pinned between the moving averages in here. Right, we're pinned inside of that 8 and 21. We've broken out a little bit, but we've been there a good portion. Even down to 55 on the low of the day. I mean, I would look at this, Roman. You know where I'm going with this. 521.05. Right? Let's escape out of that. Let's come back here. $521.05. Whew, okay. That's a little bit on the light side for me. Let's get that darker blue. And let's make it a slightly bigger weight. All right. So as we pushed up into here, Roman, right? Closed here, broke above, came back down. Where did we get to on the high here? 520.69. Yeah, we're there. I mean, if not there, then potentially right there was the fail and the entry. Right? So I'm with you. If you took this as a bearish trade today, and we had bias as a bullish neutral yesterday when we did pop, and that's because we had just closed down below. But we are in such an iffy place right now, right? Moving averages are not giving us any true on anything. So if you're in on it bullish, let's try that one more time. Yeah, so the exit would have been 518.5 if you took a bullish trade off that bounce. So depending on what side you're in there, Roman, I'd be cautious if it's bullish. I don't trust it. And we're just, let me see if I can look. We're just stuck. We're stuck with that moving average there. It doesn't help that the markets were kind of flip-flopped a little bit this morning. We were down, we came back up a little bit, right? ES was ES up in pre-market? At one point from Sunday night's close, it was. So a little caution there. Let me see, comment in there. Yeah, I went bullish. Roman said I went bullish on the retest in the morning. Yep, so that's what it was. We had a bullish neutral yesterday. So Roman took the bounce that it came out. It broke below these iffy markets, right? If we look right now, we're down 4. We're down 4 on the day on the S&P 500, right? Let's see. This is daily. So we dropped down, we pushed up, we went bullish here on the market right on the open about 9:30. We ran up to 44.32. We closed at 44.30. So we had a quick push to the upside and then it just collapsed. Right? So tricky situation with them. All right, hope it helps, Roman. Just trying to check. Gene's asking for Mr. Softy, Microsoft. All right, on Microsoft, this is one of the Trade with Rob candidates. We are in our first exit. Target was hit on this and a pullback. So right now I like where it's at. We've got 294 as our next target. If you're not in this trade already, I would want it to get above that 290-ish level, 289.69, get above there somewhere, retest it and bounce before taking the entry, and then 294 is our first target, or next target, I should say. It's already made a move, so I don't know if it's going to go further. Larry, see you've got Microsoft in there also. Lululemon. We looked at this one, guys. Their options are insanely priced. So we stayed away from adding it a couple of months back earlier in the year, I think it was, into power option plays. But it's rocking nicely. Here's the thing I would say about Larry, and I talk about this in Pop all the time. Whoa, what did I do? We've got very little pullback to the 8 moving average, which is the pink line. You'll see a faint blue line in there, right? That's our 5 moving average. That's what we're kind of rubbing up against right now. So look for that blue line as the potential entry and the bounce, right? If we can stay between the 8 and the upper line, it looks like we're breaking out slightly above, we're good. But this has had a very strong run. Just keep your eye on earnings with it for sure. So Leslie said, I know you can buy Bitcoin in any amount, as my nephew put 2K into. Where can you do that? I don't want to spend 33 grand for one share. You can't do that anymore, Leslie. It's now 43 or something as of this morning anyway. So Robinhood offers Bitcoin with no commission. You can open an account there. Coinbase, it's not no commission. It's definitely commission on Coinbase. I don't know if it's better or worse, if there's better fills on one versus the other. I haven't looked into it. But there's plenty of wallets and places you can go. I would use Coinbase or I would use Robinhood for that. All right, we're getting close here, guys. Let's see. TTD Daniel's asking for. The Trade Desk. All right, so right here. Hi-ho, hi-ho. All right, so 81.25 is support. We're looking at, call it $3.50 is our wildest average true range. So $7.88. All right, we need to split this level in half. So we need a -136. Okay. So, all right, well, that kind of dampers it a little bit. If I was going to say, if we get above, Larry, it's not Larry, it's just TTD. So Daniel, if we get above that moving average, the 8, which is 83.26, I would look for a bounce, a move up, a retest, and a bounce. But I've got that 85.95 just above head. And ironically, 2 different times we bumped our head on ugly. Ugly is just an area of resistance in this scenario, right? We've just hit our head there 2 times and failed. So it would be a very short day trade, but there's not a lot of dollar movement on it. So I'd be a little careful from there. Yeah, good point. Jim said the BTBT has a very high implied volatility. Jeff said, did a covered call at the $15 strike. We'll get 10% of called out of 22%, if not for the week. Nice job. Excellent. Let's see. What else we got here? Yeah, Trader Will said, what about a day trade on Tesla failing off of that 382 fib? Absolutely. Yep. So P said, how far out in the options do you go for the trade with Rob Candidates? 30 days. 30 days is what you want to do on those. All right. Usually we're not in anywhere near that time period. Leslie, you're welcome. So Dory said, please let me have a word on this as a senior. What does Big Bank do with the funds in my investment account, and how can they be allowed to have no protections, no stops? Not sure, Dory, not sure where you were going with that, because I don't know when you asked it what I was referring to there. If you're talking about putting money in a bank and the bank having access to your money, yes, banks, brokerages. Here, you could own Microsoft stock and it's just sitting in your account and you refuse to write covered calls. Oh, stay away, taboo. No. The broker is. Yeah, they're writing covered calls on your account, on your shares. Why do you think their strategy is buy and hold? So they have access to your funds that they can rent that out. Now they're going to rent it out and get a penny or 2 pennies, which for you and I on 100 shares, 1,000 shares isn't worth my time. But for Goldman Sachs, who may have 50 million shares of Microsoft laying around, that's a lot of pennies every week, every month. Okay, so there's definite value there. How they get to do it, it's part of a big old boy network that you and I are not part of, right? We don't get invited to those parties, right? And hear the things that they have to talk about, which is how can we make money and not let other people get any of it? What if you turn off share lending? You're not, when you share lending is allowing them to short that stock. You could turn that off, but that doesn't prevent them from renting your stock out. In the agreement that you signed, the phraseology is that they can encumber your stock anytime they choose. It does, listen, it doesn't hurt you. You would never lose your stock. It would never cost you any money. None of that. Nothing like that whatsoever. Period. At the end, you never have to worry about it from that standpoint. If they got exercised, it went to the moon and got taken away, so what? They would just put it back in your account. You would never know it even happened. It would be seamless. You would never even see it. There's no section on your brokerage statement or in your online account that goes, ooh, they stuck it to me and rented it out this week. You can't tell any of that, right? There you go. All right. Yeah, I don't think so, Steele. I don't think it's everything. I don't think it's everything, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. We're going to leave the room open a couple of minutes, so you can go ahead and click on those links. If Amy, you would drop that back in, get registered for the live event in New York and get registered for the upcoming event this week, right? Becoming Chart Smart, right? Get your butts in those seats for both of those events. You will not be disappointed. You will, on the other hand, be disappointed if you don't make it there. All right. With that, have a great rest of the day, and I will see all of you at our next update. Take care, folks. Bye for now.